Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सदी गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सदी गौर भक्त वृंदा हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Rina ji.
Hare Krishna Bhaiya. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Nisha.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Tarun. Hello Ajay. Hare Krishna Samit.
Hare Krishna sir.
Hopefully everyone had a nice weekend. And the election weekend pretty much in US. So we'll continue reading on Srimad Bhagvatam. So we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 10, Adhyay 10 and Shlok 23. 23rd we read on Thursday also. But we'll read it again one more time. I think it's a very, very important shlok in Srimad Bhagvatam, right? And as you have been seeing, like, we have read a lot of stutis to Lord Krishna, right? We saw how Kunti Maharani's stuti to Lord Krishna. We saw, of course, amazing Bhishma Pitama's stuti to Lord Krishna. We saw how Sonak Muni has been describing Lord Krishna. We saw Dev Rishi Narad giving that whole bhakti, a devotional lecture to none other than Sri Ved Vyasji, right? And Ved Vyasji created Srimad Bhagavatam. So I think this one is also very important shlok. So let's just read it one more time. Sevayam yat pad matra suryo jitendriya nirjit matarikshvanah pashyanti bhakyut kalitatmalatmana nanavesh sattvam parimashramharti. So here is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness by dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and senses, and that is the only way or to purify existence, right? So we saw it last time, like what is the only way to purify our existence, right? Is Nanavesh Sattvam, only by devotional service, Parimast Maharti, right? And and also we saw last time, right? Like even by doing so many other things, people can fall down. The big saints, the big sadhus can fall down. But if you are doing devotional service, slowly and slowly, we will be progressing towards the right consciousness, right? The right consciousness which will cleanse our material consciousness. Okay, so, and this is one very important paragraph in this. I think we should read that. Sumit, is Sohan there? It's fine.
नहीं सो गया भैया वो.
Okay. So we'll just read that. Sumit, you want to read?
In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the senses can be controlled only by better engagements, devotional service, necessitates purifying the senses or engaging them in the activities of devotional service. Devotional service is not inaction. Anything done in the service of the Lord becomes at once purified of its material nature. The material conception is due to ignorance only. There is nothing beyond Vasudev.
Yeah, awesome there. Nisha?
The Vasudev conception gradually develops in the heart of the learned after a prolonged acceleration of the receptive organs. But the process ends in the knowledge of accepting Vasudeva as all in all. In the case of devotional service, this very same method is accepted from the very beginning, and by the grace of the Lord, all factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of a devotee due to dictation by the Lord from within. Therefore, controlling the senses by devotional service is the only and easiest means. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Right. So it again says, therefore, controlling the senses by devotional service is the only and the easiest means. Also, it says like there's nothing beyond Vasudeva. Right? There's nothing beyond Vasudeva. So I think, and all the devotional service which you are doing, like, right, we started with chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, right? There are 9 ways of doing the devotional service, like reading the Srimad Bhagvatam. And we saw in like previous sloks, like Srimad Bhagavatam is like postgraduate study, right? Once you read Bhagavad Gita and then reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but ultimately we have seen in Srimad Bhagavatam also there's so much stuti of Lord Krishna, and that's the pure devotional service. Okay. Anyone wanted to say anything? Okay, Anilji?
हाँ जी समा अयम सख्यनुगीत सत्कथो वेदेषु गुह्येषु च गुह्यवादिभिः य एक ईशो जगदात्मलीला सृजत्यवत्यत्ति न तत्र सज्जते. Oh dear friends, here is that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. Hare Krishna.
Right, yet remains unaffected. Right, so one is Satkatho Vedeshu, right? So you can read all the Vedas and Purans, right? But essentially the confidential pastimes of personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is described. And then Srijatya Vatyati. So he's the only one who creates, annihilates this material world. So he's doing all this, but na tatra sajjate, right? So na tatra sajjate is like yet remains unaffected. So there are thousands of universes created from, but Lord Krishna stays in Golok Dham, right? Dham, and still unaffected. Hare Krishna, Siksha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Why is it called confidential?
Okay. So we have a Siksha Prabhuji. He just attended at the right time. Prabhuji, the question is, why is it confidential parts of the Vedic literature? By his great devotee, it's not revealed to all, right?
The attractive and conventional are described in the constitution तो कुछ लोग जो होते हैं, दो तरह के लोग होते हैं, एक डिमोनियक मेंटालिटी वाले लोग होते हैं और एक देवता के मेंटालिटी वाले लोग होते हैं. तो जो डिमोनियक मेंटालिटी के जो लोग होते हैं, उनसे भगवान के विषय में और जो वैदिक लिटरेचर के जो मुख्य भक्ति के रिलेटेड जो विषय हैं, उनको छुपा करके रखा जाता है. उनके सामने उसको उजागर नहीं किया जाता है, डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया जाता है, क्योंकि उसको वो मैनिपुलेट करेंगे और गलत तरीके से समाज में प्रेजेंट करेंगे और अपने जीवन में भी गलत तरीके से उसको अपना लेंगे। इसलिए कॉन्फिडेंशियल पास टाइम, कॉन्फिडेंशियल जो वैदिक लिटरेचर के जो भी कॉन्फिडेंशियल नॉलेज है, वो सिर्फ भक्तों को जो दैवीय गुण से संपन्न होते हैं उनके सामने ही वो डिस्क्लोज किया जाता है। यानी ये बोलिए पात्र के सामने ही, अपात्र के सामने डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया जाता है, नहीं तो वो लोग उसको मैनिपुलेट मिसयूज करेंगे उस नॉलेज का।
Yeah. There's a little bit more description, Reena ji, given in this purpose. Right? To read that, I think it will say like what actually the confidential parts of the activities are. Yeah? Ravi? Ravi, unmute.
यदा हयुद्धर्मेण तमो धियो नृपा जीवन्ति तत्रैष हित सत्वत किल दते भंगम सत्यमृतं दया यशो भवाय रूपाणि दददुग्गे युगे. Whenever there are the kings and the administrator living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord, in his transcendental forms, manifest his supreme power. The truth positive shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifest various transcendental forms as is necessary in the different periods and the ages. Hare Krishna.
Right, so various forms in different periods and ages, and we actually saw the main altars, right? Main avatars, 24 avatars, right? But Bhavai, Rupani, then Yuge Yuge. So we know that. Reena ji?
Aho alam shlagyatam yado kulamaho alam punyatam madhovarnam yadesh punsam rishabha shriyah pate swajanmana chankramanen chanjati. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So I think what it's saying is, so Sri hai, Pati hai, right? The husband of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. And how fortunate is those places, right? And those people where Lord Krishna himself has appeared. And so I actually wanted to share something which, so those people are so fortunate. But then at the same time, think about this, right? So I think we also, I shared this before as well, right? So even though Lord Krishna appeared like 5,000 years ago, and those places, Vrindavan and Mathura, right? So fortunate. But at the same time, how fortunate is our birth, right? So how fortunate is our birth? This form of body is obtained after 8.4 million, right? So we all know this. अपने को सबको पता है, right? After 8.4 million of births and deaths, we get this human form, right? So the human body. Now, what is so fortunate, right? Born just 5,000 years after Lord Krishna's birth. And why is that so? Because Krishna personally appears only once in a day of Brahma, right? That is 8.64 billion years, right? So it's 4.32 million day, and then 4.32 million night. So that whole one day is 8.64 billion, right? But in that one day of Brahma, Lord Krishna appears only once, right? So we have seen those 24 main incarnations in this particular universe. But Lord Krishna himself appears only once. And that just happened 5,000 years ago. So we are so fortunate to even have Srimad Bhagvatam and reading that currently together, right? and then born just 500 years after Lord Chaitanya's most merciful avatar of Krishna, right? Where the avatar of Lord Krishna and Radha in the Swarup of Radha, right? Birth also appears once in a day of Brahma. So that also happens once. And born just few years after Srila Prabhupada's commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya's birthday. So, I mean, we are reading the Srimad Bhagvatam, right? We are using vedabase.com. We are getting satsang of all the devotees, right? So we are so fortunate to have Rasiksham Prabhuji with us, right? All that because of Srila Prabhupada's appearance. And that just happened before, right, in this particular century. And so what is the probability of this birth, right? Is 1.3 raised to 17, whatever, exponential, right? So almost very, very close to zero, right? That is the probability of getting this human birth, right? So this shows that we have got a very precious birth. One should make full use of it by becoming devotee of Krishna and go back to Godhead, right? So how fortunate is this birth? But it's only fortunate if we make use of this birth, right? So at least we are trying to read Srimad Bhagavatam, we are trying to do chanting slowly and slowly, at least, you know, all of us are trying to do this. So I just wanted to bring this up to say that yes, during Lord Krishna's birth, Vrindavan is so fortunate. That's why we also see a lot of sadhus, big saints, even though they may face a lot of difficulties in Vrindavan, but they go and reside there and they cherish that land of Vrindavan. Actually, somebody sent me a video yesterday from Vrindavan for 3 minutes. Maybe if we have time, I'll share that at the end of our reading. Okay, but you know, that's the human birth, and we should all utilize it, right? And just in the previous slok, we saw like how the knowledge is given by Lord Krishna himself. As we chant, as we read, you know, the knowledge itself will awaken within ourselves to do the devotion, and there is nothing beyond Vasudev, is what is written. So such an important slok here. Tarun?
अहो बता स्वर यशासस तिराकृति करी कुशास्त्र पुण्य यशास्करी भुवः पश्यन्ति नित्यं यद अनुग्रहस्थिनं स्मितावलोकं स्वपतिं स्मयत् प्रजः. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So fortunate about Dwarka, and so fortunate this whole earth is. Right, Lord Krishna is celebrated in the whole Brahmand, right? All these 14 loks, and he lives in Golok, right? But it's so fortunate that he appeared here, and so Dwarka has defeated all the glories of heavenly planets, the planets which are the residents of Devatas and Lord Brahma, and so on and so forth. Right? Ajay?
नूनं व्रत स्नान हुता दिनेश्वर समर्चितो हास्य गृहीत पाणिभिः पिबन्ति या सख्य धरामृतं मुहुः वृजस्त्रिस्य सम्मुमुर्हर्यदशया. Oh friends, just think of his wives whose hands he had accepted, how they have undergone woes, baths, fire, sacrifices, and perfect worship of Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. The damsels of Vrajbhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So the Lord himself is here. And who is saying all this? Who is saying this? right? So if you remember, like all the ladies of Hastinapur, right, they have come onto the rooftop. And why they are on the rooftop?
Because Krishna is departing, so
right, to see Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is departing for Dwarka, and they are doing this, they are talking to each other, and as we saw in one of the shlokas, that this is even more beautiful than reading Vedas, right? So this conversation among those royal ladies is even more beautiful than even Vedas. Why it's so more beautiful? Because it's talking about Lord Sri Krishna.
रीना माता जी का क्वेश्चन का आंसर यहाँ भी है। देखिए यहाँ पर कॉन्फिडेंशियल बताया गया है ना कि by kissing the damsel of Brajbhumi। अगर ये नॉलेज अपात्र को मिल जाए तो फिर वो क्या करेगा? जैसे कृष्णा का पास टाइम गोपियों के साथ वृंदावन का जो लीला है वो बहुत सीक्रेट है एंड सेक्रेट है, लेकिन लोगों ने उसको किस तरह से रिप्रेजेंट किया है। इसलिए ये जो वैदिक ज्ञान है जो योग्य व्यक्ति है उनको ही मिलना चाहिए, इसलिए ये गुप्त है, गुप्त ही रखा गया, सबको प्रकट नहीं किया जाएगा। अभी समझ गए ना?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Shikshan Prabhuji,
हाँ। या वीर्य शुल्के न हृता स्वयं मरे प्रमथ्य चौद्य प्रमुखान ही सुषमिनः प्रद्युम्न सांब सुता तयोपरा यश्च न हृतः भौम वदे सहस्रशः।
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. I think Shivam, you want to read?
हाँ, पढ़ाइए।
The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Sambha, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmani, Satyabhama, and Jambavati were forcefully taken away by him from their Swayamvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings, headed by Sisupala. And other ladies were also forcefully taken away by him after he killed Bhaumasara and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shivam. So, we only have 4 minutes left. And since we talked about Vrindavan, actually, and so I got this video up. So we'll see that. Okay. And can you see the video? And can you see this? Right. So he's Ajay Prabhu, and he has also come in our Satsang. And I just happened to talk to him yesterday, and he said, like, he's in Vrindavan. So I was like, send me a video of what are you doing there, right? And so let's see that.
कार्तिक महामहोत्सव में मुझे बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य मिला कि मैं श्रीधाम वृंदावन में गौ सेवा कर पा रहा हूँ, और खासकर जैसे गुड़ आप देख रहे हैं और हरा चारा, तो राधा रानी के चरणों में ही प्रार्थना करूँगा कि हमेशा ऐसे ही मुझे खिलाते रहे और गौ सेवा का मौका दे। राधे राधे। हरे
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम् अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं, तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं। अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरं रामनारायणं जानकी वल्लभम्
So you see, like we got direct darshan from Vrindavan right from yesterday. Yeah? So we only have less than 1 minute. So tomorrow again we'll hear the Damodars come, as this is Kartik month. Also, this is the week of Diwali, of course. All right, and